Hello, welcome to my backyard. So the weather forecast this week has called for rain every day, and we have gotten rain, I think, once in like a quarter inch of rain. There's our rain gauge. Now my wife assures me that these plants are in need of water. Now they look lush to me, happy and healthy, not wilty. But I've been told I must trust her, that she knows what she speaks of. And if she says they need to be watered, then by golly, they need to be watered. So fair enough, they shall be watered. Funny thing about the weather here, we live in southwest Ohio, the Ohio Valley, and it's a very interesting place. I feel for the meteorologists in our community, in our region. You go to LA, if you're a meteorologist, pretty good gig, I think. Pretty stable weather systems. But here, the weather changes so dramatically. We are right between, I think, planting zones 6 and 7, right on the line. And those lines are drawn for meteorological reasons and climate reasons. It's the weather here. It's right on the edge of two zones. Therefore, it experiences southerly weather coming from the Gulf, and then weather that comes along the jet stream, the westerly, predominantly westerly weather that comes from Indiana and points west and north. And they come together at the Ohio Valley where we live. So we get a lot of volatile weather. So when they call for rain and it doesn't rain, I'm not surprised. Or they'll call for rain and I'll find out it rained very hard a mile away and didn't rain at all here, or vice versa. So people pick on the weathermen, but I think in our part of the country they have a tough gig. So in other news, the fate of those 5 passengers on the OceanGate submersible is now known. The wreckage has been discovered, and all hands lost. And it's very sad, very tragic, but a reminder that is not a kitschy little thing to do, to go down 13,000 feet below sea level. I saw a ranking of the most dangerous things human beings can do. Number 1 was war, number 2 was space exploration, and number 3 was submarines, working in deep sea environments. Not to be taken lightly. I just don't think at this point tourism to the bottom of the sea is a wise choice. I don't think it was a wise choice in outer space either, although that it went off without a hitch. But the space shuttle disasters, of which there were 2, I think, out of about 110 flights, Richard Feynman discovered from the engineers when he was investigating the Space Shuttle Challenger that the managers at NASA claimed that the probability of a catastrophic failure were 1 in 10 to the 5th, which is 1 in 100,000. But when he talked to people in each of the departments, the engineers doing the work, they said it was 1 in 50. Now, if you don't understand the difference between those two numbers, you'll spend the rest of your life being eternally fooled by people. Scale matters. You see, the upper level people had to communicate with Congress. And you can't tell Congress that there's a 1 in 50 chance that all aboard will die and then ask for billions of dollars. So somehow they convinced themselves that the chances of a catastrophic failure were 1 in 10 to the 5th. The engineers said 1 in 50. Well, there were 2 accidents in 110 or so flights. I don't remember exactly what the number was, but somewhere in that range. So in essence, the engineers on the line were right. And the submersible technology at the bottom of the oceans is right behind that. And I would say perhaps a little worse than 1 in 50 if we're gathering data up to this point. Have a good night.